Hello friends, my name is Brian Moshiri and welcome to my channel. It has been a while since I did one of these, a solo like me speaking to you directly on camera, and I felt like it has been 6 months since the beginning of the channel, and I wanted to just come up here and have a conversation with you and talk about something very specific, and that is how my journey has been 6 months on as a YouTuber, which is even crazy to even say out loud that I'm a YouTuber. But I had written down some lessons that I have learned in case any one of you watching there is interested in maybe sometime down the road becoming a YouTuber or creating content on this platform. So I had some guidelines that I would help you to give you a sense of what to expect and just to make things easier for you as you begin your journey, because it can be daunting, especially when you are starting and you feel like there is nowhere you can get any resources from, like, resources in terms of information. So I gathered up things that I thought were important, and that is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. And again, of course, thank you always for all the support that you have shown me and the channel and everyone that has been featured on this channel so far. And this is only the beginning. I've only created content for 6 months and I'm already like doing a how-to video and attempting to give people advice. I don't know how it's going to come off, but I feel like experience is experience, and I feel like even though I don't have that much experience, the little that I know can help someone, So number one, these are very personal to me. Do not focus too much on equipment. It can be an added bonus to have a lot of equipment, but it is not crucial to the creation of your content. Now, I wrote this for a very specific reason. I remember when I decided to come back into creating content on YouTube, I had all these thoughts about what I need. I need like the best camera. I need a tripod, a ring light, and then I need microphones, and then I need what, and then I need an editor, and then I need someone separate to do the thumbnails for me. I guess, I don't know why we tell ourselves these lies. I don't know if it's based on what we hear or what we see from other very established YouTubers and we want to be like them. So we want to mimic everything they do and have a huge team and have the best cameras like they do. But all these things are very expensive, and most of the times you don't really have that money when you're starting out, and you don't even have that knowledge or know-how. You won't have all the answers when you're beginning. But the point that I want to make right here is that you don't also need all the equipment, all the fancy equipment as you're beginning. I remember in 2021, there was a time where I really wanted to be a YouTuber, and I convinced myself the same things that most people do. I need the best camera, so I went out and bought a camera, and I never used that camera even once. In actual fact, I never used it because I didn't keep in mind that I was a disabled person. And for me, even holding a camera, it's a tall task. So I don't really know what I had in mind. I don't know how I thought I was going to be carrying a camera like this when I can't even control my hands. So that was a rookie mistake, one that I would want you not to do. If you want to create content, people say, and this is not a cliche, just start with what you have. I started creating content with my phone, and I'm still doing that. The only addition that I have is these mics that I bought just a month ago. And it's because my voice is not the loudest, especially due to my health conditions. So I'm not able to project my voice that much. So that is why I bought this microphone, so that I don't have to be this close to the camera, so that you guys can hear me, so that I can be audible. I wanted to be comfortable, and I felt like, these mics are going to really work for me. So you can get this equipment as you go. Number two, find a niche that you can constantly create content about, but do not be rigid about your ideas. try different concepts and understand that it might not work. This is a valuable piece of advice that was given by Kino Eves, who I have mentioned a couple of times on this channel, and he told me, you can find your niche and that is okay. I'm doing lifestyle content, but I shouldn't be that rigid to the extent that all my videos are carbon copies of each other. Like I start all my videos from getting out of bed and getting into the car and going somewhere. You can switch it up a bit, spice it up a bit. You don't have to be too rigid about the way you create your content. Be open-minded enough to try new things, try new concepts, try new video ideas. Maybe you can even try a mukbang video, try a food challenge video. Try these things, and you never know where you might strike gold. Yeah, you might be creating one type of content for like a year, and then you try to do something different and veer off into a different direction, and that is going to be your saving grace, and life will never be the same for you again. Times out of 10 it's not going to work, but you tried and you try something new, and you learned a lesson. You know that this works, this doesn't work, but don't be afraid to try new things. YouTube money won't make sense, especially when you begin. Try not to make it your motivation, because you will be demoralized after a very short while. I mean, this is something that I am guilty of myself, because I felt like I thought I was basing my thoughts on international creators, and I was looking at their YouTube paychecks, because some of them they post it online, and I was thinking maybe when I start creating content, I'll be making $200 a month, and it will be easy, and I'll be able to handle all my bills. But that is very different when you are creating content here in Kenya, and especially when you are starting. It's going to be very heartbreaking when you, for instance, let's say you are creating many videos, maybe in a month. You might create like 10 videos or 15 videos a month. That is hard work. And for you to do all that work, and for it not to generate as much as you would like, or as much as you would think, it can be demoralizing, So keep that in mind, that YouTube money, especially as you begin, it's going to be peanuts. Even now, 6 months on, what I'm getting on YouTube, I don't feel like I even break even. Let's say I go on a trip to Nairobi, and I make, let's say, 3 videos about it. The 3 videos will barely cover the cost of me traveling and my expenses. So, you have to really think about it. You think about the long game, You think about the long game. You think about where this channel is going to take you, and the opportunities it's going to give you, and the doors it's going to open for you. So don't be too stuck about where you are right now, and the money that you're making on the money that you're not making. Your channel won't have amazing views all the time. Like all things, there is a blossoming season and there is a low season. You might have like one video that will go viral, and it will have all these amazing views. And it is human nature to want to expect that every time. Like for me, I had one video that I did with DJ Evolve that really went, and really was a blessing to my channel. And at some point I felt like, maybe what if I would get these kind of views every month? But the truth is that you can't be able to achieve that. Many of us will not be able to achieve that. So try to make peace with the fact that your channel will sometimes have high moments, low moments, and then it will plateau, and then it will level up. And that is, I guess that is where you want to be, a place where you have stable views, and you are very secure about the views that your channel gets, rather than having the ups and downs, because they can be confusing for a creator to gauge yourself and where you are, So always understand that you'll have those moments, and it's okay. As you start out, most people around you will likely not watch or share your content. Make peace with that. Be patient. The people who are meant for you will find you eventually. So this is something that I was very aware of because I was already creating content on other platforms, and I knew very early on that the people around you will not likely consume your content, or even if they do consume your content, they will not be front to comment or to engage or to share with to share it with other people. Not to say that no one in my life like shares my content or interacts, but it won't be like overwhelming, Make peace with that you won't receive overwhelming support from the people around you. And by that I mean the friends and family. They might watch, but they will watch it silently and they will never mention it to you. They will never refer to a video and say, oh, that video you did was really nice. That is a rarity. But I've been blessed because I have a few people who have been staunch supporters of mine. I'm very blessed when I see like people who are constantly commenting, constantly liking, sharing the videos, and just giving me feedback and constructive criticism. You should do this, you should do that, Ideally, the people who are going to be like your long-term fans are people who don't even know you, that people who will be introduced to you through the content that you're making. And yeah, just know that they will find you eventually. They will find you and you will find them. Learn from other creators, but be wise not to copy or compare yourself. No two paths are the same, and you can end up feeling inadequate when you think that your channel is not performing as well as you think it should. There's something that I always say, but I don't utilize it, or I don't put it into practice. But comparison is the thief of joy. It's a quote I like using, but I find myself comparing myself to other creators, and I guess it's a human nature to just want to compare yourself to your peers. But the main difference is, what is the aftermath of your comparison? Are you left feeling like you're inadequate, or are you left feeling motivated? And that is the balance that I've been trying to have. Their channel seems to be growing much faster than mine. So what can I do? What can I borrow from their work and try to adjust it to mine and have more value? So that is the distinction that I'm working hard to make right now, and to try not to be bogged down by the achievements of other people, and understand, like, again, my path is going to be different. And who says that just because maybe you're having a slow start, or maybe you are struggling at this moment, that you won't be where they are, So keep that in mind when you are starting out, and when you are finding inspiration from other people. You can find inspiration, but don't end up feeling or beating yourself down because you feel like they are doing much better than you are. They could be doing so, but again, understand, different paths. As a content creator, your numbers are a measuring stick. I won't tell you not to look at them, but all I can say is find healthy ways to deal with the ups and downs. Don't let your head grow big when you hit big numbers, and don't bring yourself down when the numbers are lacking. Yeah, I guess that is very similar to the earlier point that I made. People tell you, don't look at the views, don't look at the like, but you have to. You have to when you are a content creator. Those are the merits that we use to rate ourselves and to rate our capabilities. So as a content creator, your numbers are your measuring stick. So of course you have to look at them so that you can gauge where you are. But at the same time, just find healthy ways to understand that sometimes your numbers will be up and they're going to be low, and find ways to deal with that emotion, that emotion of this time your video got like 10,000 views in 1 hour, and then the next time you post, you're barely making 1,000 views, So just find healthy ways to understand that feeling and to get over that kind of emotion. Okay, stay in the motion of creating content. Always think about the next idea, the next thumbnail. When you step away from it for too long, you might lose the inspiration to keep going and lose your streak of posting. And this is something that I figured out with myself. Like when I get into that motion, when I'm constantly in that ideation process, like thinking about how I'm going to make the content better, thinking about what I'm going to do for the next video, it is very easy. It is very easy for me to not to slow down. But sometimes when maybe I have recorded a few videos, like 2 or 3 videos, and then I post them, and then I take like 1 or 2 weeks off. It becomes harder for me to get back in the flow of things. I understand that this might be misinterpreted as me telling you to be a workaholic and to have no time for rest, but that is not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that always be in that motion, don't stay away from it for too long. It's like if you're an athlete, people who are athletes or people who are maybe footballers, they're always training like every day, trying to make their skills better, trying to make themselves better, trying to become better at their craft, But when they stay away from it for too long, getting back is going to be a challenge because your body really wants to just rest, to lounge, not to do too much. And if you subscribe to that, you're going to find yourself in terms of content creation. If you take a break that is too long, and too long is relative. For people, a break that is too long is 2 months. Another person, it's a few days. So just don't try to keep in motion. That is what I mean. You will not always be passionate about content creation. You will not always keep out of bed excited to be on camera. Try to stick to the plan and not to your mood. Again, this is very easy said than done. But it's something also that from my experience, I thought that maybe when the channel is growing, when I have all this engagement, it's going to be coming easy for me. But I find that is not always the case. Sometimes it's hard for me to speak in front of camera, hard for me to be like vlogging every time. Every single minute I'm vlogging, I'm asking questions and all that. By default, just wants to rest and not to be doing all these kinds of things, like with everything else. Like you're not, no matter how much your salary is or how much you love your job, you are not skipping out of bed every day to rush to go to work, Sometimes you feel low, sometimes the energy is not always where it needs to be. But when you figure out that this is work, and you understand why you are doing, and you don't make too many excuses, you're going to live through the low energy moments, live through the low energy moments. That's why you drag yourself out of bed and you get into the matatu, and you are rethinking all your life choices when you're in the matatu. But once you get to work, you re-energize yourself, Don't look elsewhere for inspiration. Like, find it within yourself, because if you are always looking for inspiration from outside, sometimes it's not going to be there, and inspiration won't always come on a silver platter. You have to look for it sometimes, most of the time. Last but not least, there's a lot of feedback on YouTube from people who genuinely want to help. Others want to vent, and some just don't like you. Accept this and understand that putting yourself out there will elicit some kind of reaction, It might be good, it might be bad, but as Oscar Wilde said, what is worse than being talked about? Not being talked about. I have realized this when I started creating content. When you put yourself out there, you don't have control And no one really has control over who is going to interact with your content or how it's going to make them feel. You have your own right to your own reaction, but also understand that people also have their own opinions. When you post a very negative comment and I respond with the same energy, don't be mad, Don't be mad. And people would say, just ignore it, don't address it, but every person is entitled to their own reaction, their own opinion. And as long as you're not going overboard, and when you post something, it's going to have like different reactions. So make peace with that. Make peace with the fact that you have no control over the reaction that is going to be coming back to you and the feedback that is going to be coming back to you. But yeah, that is all that I wanted to say. And I hope that all the things that I've said, if you are thinking about content creation, I have assisted you in a way, in one way or two, to make the path easier for you and to make your start a bit softer, to make you more informed. But yeah, thank you so much for watching up to this point. It's always a joy to have a conversation with you guys, to speak to you guys, and I appreciate all the support. Again, I never tire from saying that. Thank you. Without your support, without your viewership, I wouldn't be here. So thank you so much, and see you on the next one.